Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto, where we take the market one leg at a time while keeping the market cycle in mind. And we had a nice bounce Bitcoin here earlier this afternoon. So we did the power hour this morning, and I actually did a live stream later in the afternoon as well. And I believe we kind of caught this on the live stream, if I'm not mistaken, or just before the live stream. As a matter of fact, I was talking in the Slack chat room. Sorry, I do my videos pretty impromptu, so trying to recall exactly what happened. We had the big pop up here. My shorts got covered after we crossed this trend line here, so I took profits from higher up. And then I actually shorted up here. Took a little profit of about 10%. Not a big trade at all. Barely covered fees on BitMEX. But yeah, I covered the short. It wasn't immediately retracing, so I figured I would just take the risk off the table. Looks like we had a second continuation here. And now we're kind of living above a trend line, which we haven't broken since we hit 10,000. And so you can see that's this trend line in blue. Let me go ahead and make that a little thicker for you. So that's the trend line right here that we're living above right now, which is kind of healthy for price in the intermediate term. But everyone's super bullish off of one move. I don't quite understand why. Yes, we did kind of test and support this level. I understand that. Let's go ahead and draw this line right over here. I actually tested it twice. So it is a pretty good test, I will admit that. And I cannot fault anyone for going long here, as a matter of fact. We have broken 1, 2, 3 trend lines at this moment in time. And at $6,400, we're actually not really that far off of these lows of late. And so I would say probably would be a pretty decent time to get long in Bitcoin. I mentioned in several videos over the past day or so a defensive buy down here. I never did the defensive buy, but I do like to mention those strategies when I do see opportunities like that, and this was one of them. Now that would have worked out really good. I didn't partake in that, however. So the bounce to the upside happened here. The volume's pretty good. If we zoom out on this 2-hour chart, and you forget the fact that everyone is living on cloud 9 because Bitcoin had a green candle, you can see the green candle really isn't necessarily extraordinarily special. We have plenty of red over here kind of leading us lower, and while it is a nice green candle, I give you that, it is not necessarily the end all for Bitcoin, at least to the downside. In a previous video, I mentioned Bitcoin 5,000. I was 98% sure we were going to get there. I do still think we're going to get there. This just puts longer time frame on the market situation. This does not completely negate the bear market. What this does is causes an intermediate term uptrend. If that turns into a long-term uptrend, I'm not willing to call that. I bet you there's other people out there tooting their horns right now saying that they were right, and that, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, good for them. Good job. You know, we talked about both scenarios here. Like I said, we talked about the defensive buy. We also talked about it being weak and a bear flag, which it was. But here we are sitting right here. So if you want to go long, I really can't fault you a whole lot right here. It's a pretty good place to go long. I would wait for a breakout, for a further consolidation, then another upward movement, preferably off of some kind of consolidation. Maybe we get a larger bull flag scenario up here. If we did this would be extraordinarily bullish. If we did something like that, that would really get me interested in Bitcoin. We've not really had a very well-defined bull flag in any point of this downward movement, which has really kept us on the sidelines from taking long positions, even after some of these really big up thrusts. And I'm not viewing this any differently than any of these other up thrusts over here until I see something different from Bitcoin. We've seen these pops before. It's nothing extraordinary. It's not like the world has shifted. Okay, Bitcoin is still Bitcoin. It's still a tradable asset. We did break a good trend line though. So anyway, I'm going to wait and see what happens with Bitcoin. I do not have any long positions at this time. If we get a nice setup over here, I probably will be much more interested, and we'll be discussing that in the power hour tomorrow. Maybe the next day if we're basing for a couple of days. But after this kind of a move, which is pretty good, it's a pretty good move. If we were to consolidate up here on lower volume, and you know, if we had a volume signature like this, I would be a little happier. Okay, if we had a little more backing and filling with the volume up here, I'd be a little bit happier. because this indicates that there's institutions at play, really, and that's what they do. When you see the charts that the institutions put into the market, it doesn't look like this. I know these are only 2-hour candles. Maybe I'll be taking this back later, but a bottom in this market will more than likely be put in by an institution with extraordinarily deep pockets, and this does not so far reek of that action. It is a Friday. It is going into a weekend. But, we'll see what happens. Now, on the flip side of that, there was quite a bit of short covering in this rally. This was not all organic buying, ladies and gentlemen. This was a vast majority of short covering. How do I know that? You can actually go over on Twitter to BitMEX Rect or whatever it's called. Let me pull it up here on the other screen. I didn't have this ready here, but there's a $3.4 million position 3 hours ago, if it'll update for me here. Here you go. $3.4 million at $64.99 that was liquidated as a buy at $34.29. And I haven't really gone down further. If you go to Twitter at BitMEXRect, you can look at all the calls there. So there's $6.8 million at 64. So you can see these are all shorts, guys. This is not organic buying. This is short covering. That's literally what it is. A vast majority of this, well, I can't say a vast majority, but a good majority of this is short covering. I'm sure if we go back 63.60, we'll probably see some stuff in the 62s. But you can go ahead and do this on your own time. I'm not going to bore you with that. The whole point I'm trying to make is that this is not organic buying coming into the market, pushing us higher. This is another short covering rally and a bear trend, ladies and gentlemen. That's all it is. Okay, so until I see some more bullish action, I'm really not going to get crazy into this. However, it doesn't mean we can't have a good rally. We do have, well, before I say that, we have not had an uptrend for a long time. The uptrend over here ended on 5.5. It is now 6.29. We're essentially 2 months into this downtrend, let's call it 6 or 7 weeks. And it's really, I think the bulls are wanting to do something. They're just bored. I mean, they're really just bored. And maybe we'll get a nice rally here. Maybe it'll roll right over. I don't know what's going to happen. But like I said, I'm not getting super long. Some levels it could get to as it does cross this trend line. There's 2 areas I'm looking at. Number 1, which it's almost come up to, is the breakdown point right here at about the, 68.50 level, which is kind of the breakdown point. Things like to move up to breakdown points before moving lower. We didn't get that on this drop down over here, nor did we get a test of this breakdown point at 7,050 or so. We may get a test of that if things get really bullish, and I bet you it kind of looks like there may be a measured move scenario. If we get a bull flag here, they could probably take us up there. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a measured move potential for move up into the 7,100 area, maybe 7,200. We'll have to wait and see. Probably could even get as high as this 7,600, which is the breakdown point up here, which has never been retested. But I'm not necessarily going to put that in the cards just yet. We would need to see some further upside action. So on an upside direction, again, I would wait for some backing and filling to happen in Bitcoin. Give yourself a little bull flag, some type of pattern to buy off of. I wouldn't arbitrarily buy, and then I would go in, and I think that could be a good trade. Let's take a look at some of the top altcoins, see what they've been doing. Bitcoin Cash actually having a pretty good move in line with Bitcoin, as a matter of fact. This thing jumped more than Bitcoin, as it tends to do, up as high as 17, 18%, currently up 13%, where Bitcoin, I believe, is up 10%. Let's go double check that. Currently up 8%, up as much as 10%. So Bitcoin Cash having a bit more of a pop, not overtaking this resistance level I have drawn here in the purple-pink color right there. Bitcoin obviously has overcut that prior level right here at the 63-ish, 6340 level, living above that currently. Could pull back in. We'll have to wait and see. Ethereum has broken that level, which I have here in pink, living above it, similar to Bitcoin. This action right here, moving almost in lockstep with Bitcoin, up about 12%, 8% currently. And I haven't looked at Litecoin yet. Litecoin's still at 81, still well beneath this 110 level, which is pretty key in my opinion. This 110 level has been tested many times in Litecoin, and it is living below 110 for Litecoin is extraordinarily bad. Even with a good pop like this, you can see it's just a one pump chump in terms Looks like there's two pumps actually, two pump jump for Litecoin moving back up into this resistance area. So again, if we get a nice consolidation, this will probably rally as well. But Litecoin has been a pretty good sentiment indicator for Bitcoin on the way down. And so far, the rally looks like it's in concert with Bitcoin, but it's not getting too bullish yet. So I wouldn't count these chickens before they hatch. So, all right, guys, there you go. Just kind of wanted to throw this video out there for you. This is what I'm seeing in the charts. I'm seeing a lot of short covering action. Oh, one more thing before I go. I was going to mention this actually. Where's my chart? The Bitcoin long, Bitcoin short chart over here. I'm kind of having a kick with this today, as a matter of fact. But look at the Bitcoin shorts. The longs stopped getting long actually earlier in the day. The long stopped going long about 6 to 18 hours ago. They really stopped getting heavy. There's actually a weird trend line here that I drew. I didn't know if it would hold. Looks like it has. So the longs haven't been getting more aggressive. And this is another argument for just it's a short covering rally. You see the big dip right here. Here's these dips prior. Dip here, dip here, dip here. What this indicates, if you don't know about this, this is BTC USD shorts. If you type this in TradingView right here, you will get these charts. And this is Bitfinex actually giving you, I still don't know what the numbers mean, I'm sorry, but this is representation of longs and shorts in the market. So you can see here, we've had these short covering rallies in Bitcoin, and here's the latest big short covering rally. This one coming all the way back down. So if the longs aren't getting more aggressive and the shorts are just hanging out, I don't know how much further we can go on Bitcoin. But again, I'll go ahead and I'll wait for that bullish price action. This would, to me, be a secondary or third tertiary indicator. I wouldn't put too much money into things based off of this, but it is something interesting to look at. I do find it fun to kind of see, what the general open interest, if you will, is for longs and shorts in the market. So if the longs aren't accumulating and the shorts are just sitting there, I'm not sure what the price is going to do. Maybe just hang out for a while. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. So thanks for joining me today. That's the video. I appreciate it. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Feel free to share the video. YouTube really likes it if you guys share this across platforms. I know I would really appreciate it. It helps to grow the channel. And please leave a comment with your thoughts on Bitcoin. Do you think this is the bottom and it's it and we're in? These two-hour candles have made the bull run possible and we're off to the races. What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear those as well. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I'll see you guys next time.